Jennifer, you'll never believe what I just heard. Mark Moriarty and Dave Grant claimed that they saw aliens from outer space at Duffy's barn last night.
Aliens? Those two have been watching too many old movies. There's no such thing as aliens. Not at Duffy's barn, anyway.
I ran into Dave Grant just as he was leaving football practice, and he told me that Sergeant Morrow, his coach, saw the aliens too. He said Sergeant Morrow called his astronomer friend, Dr. Kanara, just before practice. He asked her to come meet him at school so they could discuss extraterrestrials.
Sergeant Morrow isn't the type to make up stories. Maybe we ought to go and investigate these UFO sightings. Mark's always up to something. I wouldn't be surprised if this was just another one of his tricks.
Jennifer, I've never been more serious in my life. You've got to listen to us.
He's right, Jennifer. We're not kidding around.
Dave and I were out camping in Slater's Woods last night with Sergeant Morrow and some of the other guys from the football team.
Around like 9 o'clock or so, we all see some weird lights over by Duffy's barn.
So Dave and I, being the totally brave dudes that we are, figure we'll sneak over and check it out.
So we start sneaking over to the barn, and Sergeant Morrow tells the rest of the team to hang out.
Man, it was so eerie. The lights were just like big spotlights going round and round.
And then all these really bright white lights turn on, and we see him.
See who?
The alien!
From outer space.
Nobody's gonna believe some dumb drawing. We've got to go back out there tonight with my camera and get proof.
You're right. Then we'll go to the newspapers.
We'll be famous! I can see the headlines now. Brave students stop alien invasion.
Hey, Jay Lightfoot must be substituting for Mrs. Garcia again. Jake and I love his books. Maybe he can help us find out more about UFOs.
Aliens in Richview? Fantastic! I've done some research into UFOs lately, and there are really some very interesting stories. You see, my last book, Kidnapped to Space, was about a boy who gets kidnapped by creatures from the Andromeda Galaxy. Mr. Starr, the manager at the Egyptian Theater, helped me on the project. One of his hobbies is collecting articles on UFO sightings.
Maybe we can get more down-to-earth answers from Sergeant Morrow, the school football coach. He should be just about finished with practice about now.
I know this sounds insane, Dr. Kanara, but I know what I saw.
It's not that I'm saying it's impossible, but it's just that as a scientist I have to maintain a certain amount of skepticism.
Oh, hi kids. This is Dr. Kanara, the astronomy professor from Mount Vernon College. I was just telling her about the strange goings-on at Duffy's farm last night.
Yeah, we heard that you, Mark, and Dave saw some pretty weird stuff. What can you tell us about it?
I was out camping with some of the kids from the football team when we noticed some strange lights behind Farmer Duffy's barn. Mark, Dave, and I went over to check it out. The lights near the barn were some bright spotlights, like the kind used on a search helicopter. Then, Suddenly, out of the light stepped this huge creature. I've never seen anything like it in my life. We started backing away, and it raised its arms, I guess, and came at us. Well, my first thought was to get the boys to safety. They ran like scared chickens, but I rounded them up with the rest of the team and took them back to the school. Then I called their parents to come pick them up. I knew no one would believe me about the alien without proof, so I went back to my place for my video camera. But when I returned, the place was deserted.
Frankly, my specialty is not alien life forms. As an astronomer, my expertise lies in the study of stars. To date, no one has proven that intelligent life exists on other planets. But if you consider the billions of stars astronomers have discovered, it is possible that one of the planets orbiting those stars may be capable of supporting life. What kind of form that life would take is anyone's guess. Perhaps they might even look like the multi-armed green creature that Buck has drawn for us here. Jay Lightfoot would love to believe that. His newest book is all about UFOs and strange beings from outer space. He came to me for some of his astronomy research.
If Mr. Starr's a collector of UFO stories, he might have some information we can use.
An unidentified flying object sighting in Richview? Fascinating! I'd love to interview the witnesses for the Richview Courier. I do a little freelance reporting for them sometimes, you know. You know, this would be great publicity for Jay Lightfoot's new book. I can just see my headline now. Space Invaders in Author's Hometown. This is just the kind of thing that helps sell new novels. People will read the story, and then they'll want to read his book. Who knows, maybe with all the press coverage, Jay will be able to persuade a big studio to make a movie of his book. There may even be a part for me.
This talk of space creatures is giving me the creeps. I wonder what really happened at Duffy's barn last night.
Aliens? There ain't no such thing. Someone's been telling you tall tales. Now excuse me, please. I've got lots of work to do.
Buck Morrow says he saw some strange lights near your barn last night. Did you see anything?
If it's just lights that Morrow's worried about, what he could have seen were the spotlights on my truck. I lent it to Jay Lightfoot last night, and he may have driven it back with the high beams on.
This UFO mystery is pretty far out, but I think we've got the evidence we need to crack it. Pick the clues that you think show who's behind this alien invasion. Those are the clues we needed. Now point out who you think is behind the strange happenings at Duffy's barn last night. You're right. That alien invasion was staged by Jay Lightfoot to promote his new book. Let's check the evidence. Mark and Dave told us that they saw some strange lights over at Farmer Duffy's place and came face to face with this green 12-armed monster from outer space. Sergeant Morrow said that he went to investigate the lights that Mark and Dave saw, and he saw the alien too. When we talked with Farmer Duffy, he told us that the strange lights that Sergeant Morrow saw could have been the searchlights on the truck he lent to Jay Lightfoot last night. When we examined the truck, we found this crumpled up receipt from Out of This World Costume Supplies in the front seat. Mr. Starr told us that a UFO or alien sighting in Richview would be great publicity for Jay Lightfoot's new book, Kidnapped to Space. Jay Lightfoot must have rented an alien costume and used the powerful lights on Farmer Duffy's truck to scare Buck and the kids. He's our mysterious alien.